And good Sunday morning. Welcome to Poppy's Workshop, where, what is it? I forgot the saying, where little acorn, if I can speak properly, from little acorns, great oaks grow. So, anyway, here we are, Sunday, already the 7th of April. I'm shocked at how quickly March and February and January just rolled away, and I'm just thinking I still need to do my my federal and state taxes. Actually, I got most of them done, and I just have to wrap it up, and I'm going to owe a little bit of money. Not fun, but hey, that's life. That's what happens. Trying to look at the dropped frames. We're not too bad, 2%. I don't know why it does that, but here we go. So, not to spill too many cookies yet until some folk arrive, but we are still working on the Memorial Day display. The what do I call this? Memorial. So Memorial Day memorial. For the military. And last week, we did some easy cuts, did some inside cuts and everything. And then I did a couple simple inside cuts there. Then later on, my eye has been bothering me. As you know, I had injured it a couple weeks ago, and it's slowly improving. So I wound up trying to do some cuts. And I'll show you in a moment what I did at the beginning of the week. But the first part is right here. And it actually looks pretty good. But what I am really concerned about is the chip out that we have. So let me see. I'm going to get a little bit closer here. So right here, let me get, it's probably still a little bit too dark. Let me move the light a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's chip out. This is Baltic birch plywood, and it's not the best. I normally don't use it, but I had some left over from another project and figured, why not? Let's see what happens. And to be honest, I truly hate plywood. Yeah, I'm going to rattle can this and everything, and no one will be able to tell. But I just don't like chip outs. I don't like, what the glue does to the blade as it, it's a little bit harder to control. I mean, granted, I did a triple stack, so it's a half an inch. No big deal there. But it's just, I'm not too keen on it. So this is where we're at right now, and I will show on the scroll saw where we're at, and we're going to do a little bit of scrolling today. So let's see, scroll saw. Okay, so here we are today. Actually, let me go back to the workbench. It may be easier to see this. Okay, so let's maybe move that light out of the way. So here's where we're at. Earlier this week, I did all the inside cuts here. And I still have to do the inside cuts on the one on the right. And as I discussed, I had some concerns with the dog tags. That is definitely a breaking point. I was thinking of doing a fillet, a fillet on it, and then revisiting it, but I think I'm going to go right to the line and do what I have to do, just because this has been, a struggle. I was able to do the inside. My eye was a bit worse. It was, how do I describe it? I did this Monday, and my eye was like foggy, is the only way to describe it. Think of a very thick fog. And if I, looking through glass into a foggy day or just standing outside in a foggy day. And that's what it looked like to me trying to cut. So most of the time I was cutting with one eye, which then of course messes up my depth of field, or yeah, my depth of field. So it was harder to keep on the line. So that was just kind of an unfortunate there. But I managed to do okay. So I think what we're going to do today, at least in the beginning here, let me go back to the scroll saw. We're going to cut out this boot that I've already done all the inside cuts on. The issue, and I'll show you here, let's see, is it there? Let me come around the other side. Where is it? So if you look here, there's just a lot of chip out. Again, this is just really crappy plywood, and I'm thoroughly disgusted in it. Even here you can see the chip out over here, especially my drill holes. And I had packing tape when I was doing my drilling, and I also had a backer board. So this just tells me this is just really crappy plywood. So I'm almost at the point where I was ready to abandon this particular project, unfortunately. I was that irritated at it. So let me get my ear protection here and get that ready. Because I will be putting the air handling system on. Okay, so there you go. All right, so let's get cutting. I'm going to get the dust handling on and kind of go from there. There we go. All right, so I'm still debating if this is a wise idea or not. Because, let's see, I've got glue here, I've got glue here, and glue here. So if I cut this out, I think I'll still have enough support. So the other issue I had is that I used a different type of spray glue that I usually use for carving. So let me get this line done. And the paper template is tearing off. I'm using a number 3 Flying Dutchman, ultra reverse. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Let's see, is my finger in the way? Yeah. All right, let me get past a little bit. I'll get my finger out of the way. But I'm going off the line. This blade may be dull. So, let me see here. Off the line a little bit. Yeah, I guess I have to shut up on my turns. The wiggles here. Yeah, my camera's a little bit further out than normal. Usually I'm more overhead. So I think, let me take a look here. Yeah, my hand is somewhat in the way. So let's see, who's here? Hey, JJE, hello. So we're doing a cutout right now of the Memorial Day display. And I've elected to cut out a piece that I've already done all the inner cuts on, which I may wind up regretting making that decision. But if you had not heard my complaining about this Baltic birch plywood that I'm using and the splintering underneath it, I'm hoping that it's only the underside that I have the splintering. Come on, there you go. Then I can just glue it and hide it. Otherwise, this may be a project that gets abandoned because the wood is so bad. You know, ideally I probably should have just got 4mm birch or aspen hardwood and not use this plywood. Again, I really do not like plywood, just for the way it looks. I think it cheapens things, and I should just stick with my impulses of not changing what I'm doing. So right now what I also did is I moved my scroll saw close to the old position of my old Excalibur. I can mount my magnifying glass back onto the wall, because what would happen, because I had it mounted on the cart here, I'm not going to trim that in a sec, I'm going to be quiet for a sec. On certain turns, the wood would hit it. So then I would have to move the magnifying glass and the light out of the way in order to make that turn, and that made things very difficult staying on the line. So I'll have to adjust where the light base is on the wall, because it's a little bit too far forward. Because we're going 30-inch table versus a 21. Yeah, see, I have to keep my finger on this to keep it from bouncing. And the paper is definitely starting to come loose, the glue. There we go. But these are all things you have to deal with. But being that I'm cutting 3 pieces, hopefully, if some are chipped out too bad and won't look good, I'll still get at least 1 or 2 usable pieces. But I think what I'll wind up doing is maybe using a little filler, since I'm going to be painting it, or just really laying the paint on thick. That's probably the big thing, is that the paint will hide any small chip out. Yeah, I'm getting nervous with when I come around to the dog tags. That is going to be fragile. Very, very fragile. But my eye is much better. Still pink, but beats the red globe of blood. Blood red is what it used to be. And when all this started, it was like looking through glass with petroleum, a thick coat of petroleum jelly smeared all over it. Monday it was just fog. Today I think I'm just slightly out of focus. If I look through just with my left eye, which is the eye that I injured, there is still some light sensitivity. But overall, compared to where I was 2 weeks ago, it was good, much better. I go back to the eye doctor Tuesday for another follow-up. I was there last Tuesday. She was talking about maybe switching me to a stronger prescription, but I think part of what slowed me down in the healing process, let me stop here for a sec. Part of what slowed me down in the healing process was the original prescription from the urgent care, an antibiotic, actually slows down the healing process, though it keeps you from getting infected. But it took me a week to get in to my doctor, to my eye doctor, and she switched up my prescriptions. The other issue that I think I had that slowed down my healing is one of the prescriptions is an ointment. Try putting an ointment in your eye. That is not fun. You've got to pull down your bottom eyelid to make a pocket and then get the goop, I think it was like 3 or 4 millimeters of goop into that little eye pocket. Well, here's the problem. That stuff would roll off my finger, get into my lower eyelashes. It would smear into the corner of my eye. I mean, I just did not have the technique. So I was thinking that I just was not getting enough of that prescription into my eye. And until I finally learned the technique, and I also, instead of doing it twice a day, I decided to go up to 4 times a day, thinking, well, if I'm only getting a quarter or a half into my eye, then if I increase it a couple more times a day, that hopefully will make up for it. So hopefully that's what it is in terms of getting this eye to heal. So now when I go outside, I mowed the yard yesterday, so first time since the injury, covered up the output of my 42-inch deck so that it just basically acts as a mulcher. And then I bought some DeWalt safety goggles, tinted safety goggles. And yeah, they work really well. The wind kicked up and I felt the dust all around me. But, this is a full seal around the eyes. Now, some people complained, it leaves marks, around the eyes after you're done. Like, dude, be real. I'd rather have those marks from pressure that's bouncing. Wait a sec. I'd rather have marks from the pressure than getting crap in my eyes and going through the discomfort, pain, loss of the ability to see. You know, let's not be stupid. Now, I'm always careful with my eyes. I was wearing glasses, but of course, it got underneath because they were not a full seal. And actually, the glasses I'm wearing now are the ones that I was wearing outside because they're prescription. Now, here, you know, I have the magnifying glass that's part of the protection, first layer of protection. And then, of course, my glasses being the second from a, you know, a direct chip out thrown at my face. But anything coming from the side, you know, could lead to problems. So I should go back to my other safety glasses that have the thick side shields and the thicker top to keep things from dropping in from the top. Yeah, this is one long line. All right, I'm trying to get a little nibble there. You can turn as I want to. All right, let's stop for a sec. So, JJE, how are you doing? Hope everybody's doing fine this lovely Sunday morning. One of my other projects that I'm actually working on, you can't see it, of course, is I'm actually assembling a small swing set for my grandson. He's a year old. And it'll be in Grandpa's backyard and Poppy's backyard. So after this live stream, I'll go back to working on it. Yeah, this is bouncing a lot. Ooh. So sorry about my finger and hand being in the way. This is going to be problematic when I get to that dog tag. But if it breaks, I glue it. That's all we can do. So I'm already expecting it to break. So I'm going to be real careful and try not to. But I've already made plans of how I'm going to handle any breakage. And that's really what we have to do, is if you can modify the design a little bit beforehand, that's great. If not, then just say, well, I know it's going to break, so this is what I have to do to fix it and make it look like it never broke. Oh, and Monday, I got my first nibble on my finger by the blade. I have never been bit by the blade before. But again, not having the depth of field and this stuff bouncing around like crazy, it was just all the pieces of the storm came together. I didn't break skin or anything, and they say that it's like a paper cut, and that was very true. At least at the speed and the size of the blade that I was using. Again, the number 3. Ah, that is bouncing. I may have to go whole hand. So yeah, you know, just got my hand too close in front of the blade. Like, dummy. Alright. But yeah, everything in the workshop pretty... see, this is why I usually prefer to go with the 77 glue. And shelf liner. Rather than this, what do they call it? I think it's like removable glue, not removable glue, but repositionable glue. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, see, I'm going way off the line now. And again, that was the other thing that I just went against my basic rules of what I use and how I use things and when. I was cheaping out, trying to do things the quote-unquote easy way, and it's coming back to bite me a little bit. Bouncing, and I can't see where the heck I am. Wow, let's see, let me check who's talking. Nobody talking today, it's quiet. So anyway, back onto my grandson's, wait a sec. My grandson's swing set. I'm doing the assembly in the garage just because I want to be able to wear my regular glasses because being out in the sun, I'm still light sensitive. Okay, wait a sec. Let me shut up for a sec here. Okay, so I'm putting it together in parts. So like I'm doing the full cross beam and the legs. I'll have that all done because it's not super heavy that I can't carry it out myself, drag it out myself. So I will definitely do that. And then, of course, add the slide on, the steps. Hopefully I'll be able to assemble a lot of that too in the garage and then just fasten it after the fact. Yeah, you might be able to see all the bouncing that's happening on the top layer and the paper coming off of the glue letting loose. Oh, yeah. So you can see how much I am actually struggling here, trying to keep things, minimize the tear out of the pattern, which is, oh man, this is not good. So one of the other tricks, you'll notice that I'm using this hooked pointy thing. That's the technical name for it. You could use a little piece of wood. And put it across. I've done that as well. Yeah. This is how I cut my hit my finger on the blade last time because it was tearing out in front, it was tearing out in back. And I just didn't have the depth of field. Oh man. So you can see, I'm just trying to keep it down. This is not good. Dang. Yeah, so in particular, when you have small details, thin lines, and things like that, best to use the 3M77 glue, which is a permanent glue. And then also use the either clear packing tape, or what I prefer is the clear shelf liner. To hold things together and not have your pattern tear off like this is. This is not good. So what I may do on the other piece is I'm going to try and figure out how I can get that pattern to stay. I'll see if there's any places that are lifting off. Add a dab of glue, a dab will do, and see if I can minimize it. I don't think so. I could go to a number 1 blade. I didn't think the number 3 was too thick to cause tear out. But again, this blade may be getting dull. Even though Baltic birch plywood is not hard, I think the glue does give you issues. Trying to do a good straight line here. Gonna get us on concentrating. I still have a whole bunch of wheel toys that I need to finish, but again, because of the issues I've had the past couple weeks, I haven't reached out to anybody new because I don't want to disappoint them not being able to deliver quickly. But that'll probably be my project this week, is just getting the wheels glued up and finishing 20 or so toys. I was waiting for somebody to give me a contact person for a very large charity. It's been over a month, and he brought it up again last week. Oh yeah, I still need to give you that. It's like, yeah, that would be nice. But that happens. Yeah, I wonder if I put packing tape. Let's see how that does. I mean, that does prevent tear out. I should have put packing tape on the top too before I drilled. That may be an option when you're doing, here we go. When you're doing close in, fine work with thin pieces of wood, you can definitely worry about paper tearing and everything. You could add in the packing tape. Alright, now this is where I think I'm going to have issues with more tear out. Alright, here we go, home stretch. I better not put too much forward pressure. I'm going through tape here. And see, the bouncing makes it very difficult to stay on line, because my eye goes out of focus. And you can see me steering like crazy, trying to stay on the line as it bounces. But here we go. Come on, baby. Be true. There we go. Okay. So we have that cut done. Let's take a look at it. Let me turn off. Can't get my finger in there. There we go. Okay, let's get things quiet here. And let me back out a little bit. Oh, that's that out. There we go. Okay, and let's let this drop out. There we go. Yeah, what I may do, let me see here. And that's still glued pretty good. That's in pretty good. Well, that's not too bad. So I'll wind up doing the inside here, all those, and then cut that last piece out, which is layer 2. Let's see, this one is what layer? This is layer 3. So let's see how this looks. I do have some. Oh, I have some tape coming down here that's keeping it together. But let's do this. There we go. Okay, so this is the piece that we just cut out. And surprisingly, the dog tag did not go cuckoo on me. Let me do this. I'm going to drop this. So let me switch back to the workbench, and we can take a look at things here. That's layer 3, that's layer 4. Okay, and there's layer 1. So where we're at right now, let me get this apart. Yeah, so let's see. You're getting, unfortunately, you're now getting light from, I don't know if you can see it. Nah, darn it. Well, let's see, where'd my pen go? Wait a sec. Okay, so there is a lot of chip out. Let me get the light over. Here we go. There is a lot of chip out in the laces and everything like that. I think with a little bit of light sanding and then a heavy coat of paint, that should hide it pretty well. So what is going to happen, let's see. Let's get this one out of the way. And we'll do the ones without the pattern on it so that hopefully you'll be able to see. Let's see how close up. Yeah, the sunlight's coming through. I may have to switch back over to the so here's, oh, did I miss? I hope I didn't miss that. Oh, that's going to be, I'm going to have to check the pattern. I think I might have forgotten to drill something here. Maybe not, because there's going to be another one on top. So here's what it's starting to look like to get the 3-dimension. We will have another piece on top of that, which will be, let me get these back and stable. yeah, there is no, I was worried if you take a look, let's see, I think you should be able to see it. Yeah, so if you take a look here, you can see the hole that I cut in the handle of the M4, and then there is none here, but it's not on the pattern, so I didn't forget. So that's a good thing. So the next thing that I'm going to need to cut out will be this here. Very similar to what I just did. However, now you're getting more shape and details in the boot, where this one here is the, I guess you call it the left boot, and this is the right boot. So just gives you more details, and then of course you're going to have the shroud here, and then just more details coming up on the rifle. So this is what I'll be working on this week, or tomorrow, or later today, depending on how I get the everything done here. So there you go. I'm not sure what else that I really want to do just this yet. I think you've seen everything. So we may actually cut things short today, because I didn't plan for a whole lot of things, mainly because I didn't know how capable my eye is. So let's see, this is layer 4. So here's layer 3, and that's layer 2. So you can see how things are starting to get into the 3 dimensions here. Kind of nice. It's a very interesting piece. Definitely, you could do this on a laser, no doubt about it. And with this Baltic birch plywood, a laser might have been a smarter thing to do. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm a scroll saw guy. Yes, I have a laser, but you know, I use a laser for specific things: engraving my name on the back of stuff, laying down a guide pattern or something like that. You know, for example, a puzzle in the backer piece, I would definitely put the you know, you have the backer and the puzzle goes in it. I could etch where the puzzle pieces go if I want to do that. I really don't like making toys or things of that nature out of it. Though I did show you this, I think a couple weeks ago. Let me get this. I have some wheels on it, so I really like this. I think this is a good usage of things. So you've seen this. This is the dice baseball game. And, you know, the laser put all those details in that you could not do with a scroll saw. You know, for example, well, just the words, the die, and all that. And then I, of course, cut out the shape on the scroll saw and hand drilled everything. And it comes out with a nice look. So I, of course, if you can see it, put my logo on the back. Yep, from Little Acorns, Great Oaks Grow. So I did that. I did do a golf one, but as I was looking at it, I had realized that the designer of that golf game had a couple errors in it. Let me get that. Yeah, I'm reaching. See, I have 3 different of the baseball games. And see, I wanted to do some stuff for older kids. So this was the first, and I really like this. This is the shame of it. And I'm going to paint this by hand. I'm going to paint in the greens, you know, the different color greens and everything, the blue for the water. But as I was looking at it and saying, yeah, I got to paint this and do all this stuff, I was looking, it's like, okay, you roll at the tee, and it's, chip, rough, fairway, sand. It's like, okay, but let's say I go to the fairway. I have green, chip, rough, green, fairway, sand. It's like, okay, let's say I go to the rough. A green, rough, fairway, chip, sand, fairway. I kept going on. Then I saw water. And it's like, wait a second. If I start here, and let's say I go to rough, and I hit the green, or I get into the fairway, or I do a chip, or I go in the sand, or I go here, I go to the fairway, I go to the green, I go to the chip, and all that stuff there. It's like, you can't get into the water hazard. So it's like, nuts. So I wound up stopping my drilling because it's like, well, this is useless. I'll use this as an example. I will finish this piece because this I actually did on canary wood, and it's heavy, it's nice, just really, really nice. And once I paint it by hand, it's going to look really cool. But now I brought it to the attention of the designer, and they did it. They had to redo it a couple times because I said, no, this is what you see if you do this. Yeah, so that's just another thing where you have to look at what the designer has done, look at logic, and actually try and play these things, see if it actually works, and go from there. But anyway, I think I'm going to cut this a little bit short today. I think everybody is gone. Wow. All right. So with that, may the Lord richly bless you. Make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop.